Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did a second interview with Dee Wallace, and she promoted her daughter's new critically acclaimed book, Eat, Pray, Fuck My Life. And now today I'm going to be interviewing her daughter, Gabrielle Stone. And I can't wait. We're going to talk about that book. And we are also going to be talking about some other things as well. I know that the other day I interviewed Victor Miller, and he has a movie coming out called Rock, Paper, Scissors. I know Gabrielle is in that too. I'm going to ask her and see if she can discuss that movie as well, and a few other things about growing up as Dee Wallace and Christopher Stone's daughter, and, you know, stuff like that. So, here is my interview with Gabrielle Stone.
Hello.
Hey, Gabrielle.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Running around like crazy, but pretty good.
Yep, the standard. So, it's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm happy to.
Awesome. So, when did you first know that your mother was Dee Wallace, the much beloved movie star?
I mean, I grew up on film sets with both her and my dad, so I always thought that was the norm for me. But I probably when I saw Cujo when I was 16 was when it really clicked. Not that, you know, I knew obviously she was the mom in E.T. and she was an actress and people knew who she was, but I don't think it was till I saw Cujo where I was like, oh, my mom's a badass with a shotgun and, like, I want to do what she does. And, you know, that's one of my favorite films that she's done. I think her performance is fantastic in it. So I think that was when it really resonated with me, like, as more in my adult life, that she was as great as she is.
Yeah, I absolutely adore her. She was the first guest I've had to actually seek me out to come back on. And, yeah, I cried. I just couldn't believe it because I'm always the one who has to seek out people. But she had her secretary, Lauren, email me, and I just, like, completely cried. It was so awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And, your dad, God rest his soul, Christopher Stone, I always thought that he was wonderful in The Howling.
Me too, and it's really special for me to be able to have that piece of him, you know, kind of immortalized with my mom. You know, a lot of people are lucky to be able to have home videos, which I have as well. But to have both of them on screen together in such a big capacity in both The Howling and Cujo and, you know, the new Lassie series they did, it's really special for me to be able to have him in that way. So.
Absolutely. And that must have been just, you know, devastating for you to lose him at such a young age.
It was definitely, you know, something that is now part of my story and has shaped a lot of who I am today. I write about that a lot in my book, that it's one of the first things that really put me on a certain path in my life. And God bless my mom, you know, she was on set filming The Frighteners when he passed in New Zealand. I was at home in Los Angeles with him and my babysitter, who I'm still good friends with and very close with. And she had to get on a plane, fly 24 hours back home, do a celebration of life service, get him cremated, take care of me, and then we both flew back to New Zealand a week later to have her finish the film. It was quite a good representation of what a badass woman looks like.
Oh, my God. Yeah, do you remember this one movie he did? It was really, really bad. It was called The Annihilators.
I don't.
Yeah, it's this movie where these ex-Vietnam vets, they go back to their hometown and it's being intimidated by a local street gang, and they basically recreate their Vietnam battles in a backyard. It's so bad.
Oh, how funny. No, know, I've never heard of that, but that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, it's a bad movie. So, how old were you when you started acting?
I didn't start acting until I dabbled in it here and there. I did, like musical theater growing up in school, but nothing on a serious level until I turned 19, and I did my first short film called Henry, John, and the Little Bug.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked off that set and was like, oh, I don't want to do anything else. So that was when I kind of, realized I wanted to do it, but I wouldn't say I got really serious about it until I was like 21. And yeah, I've been working as an actress ever since, and that eventually transpired into me directing, which has been amazing the past few years. But yeah, it's kind of always been a part of me in some way or another.
Yep, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
No, and my dad, I get the directing from my dad. He was the director of our family, and so it's been really cool, I think, for my mom to see me kind of carry out that part of our family. She did a role in my last film called After Emma, and she starred opposite Amy Smart and Kay Morgazi, and it was such a weird, surreal experience to direct her. For her and I think it was even crazier for her, but she really loved seeing, my dad's side come out in me, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw you in Death House, and I mentioned to your mom that I'd seen it, and she told me she wasn't very happy with it. How do you think it turned out?
I had such a small role in it that my character was supposed to set up the sequel. I don't know if that will ever take place. I can tell you that when I read the script initially, it was one of the best horror scripts I had ever read. I think, unfortunately, the machine of the Hollywood scene kind of took over it, and it became something that it shouldn't have been, with trying to pack as many horror people into it as they could, and it kind of, the story and the product kind of suffered because of that. But, I know a lot of horror fans that dig it, so to each their own.
Yeah, I think it's funny. When I hear the anticipation buildup of a movie for a long time, I always try to picture the movie in my head, and then when I actually see it, I'm usually pretty disappointed, but I actually liked the movie for what it was. Had great actors in it. I love Felissa. I love Barbara Crampton. They're just wonderful. And I think Harrison did a pretty good job directing it and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, maybe if Gunnar Hansen had lived a little bit longer, maybe it would have turned out the way it was intended to be.
Well, I don't know. The script, when Harrison got the script, it was a totally different script than what ended up happening, and Harrison did a very good job in rewriting it into making it something that was more current. But I think, it is for horror fans what it will be, I think.
Yeah, I hope sequels do get made, though, and they'll have even more, horror people in it that they couldn't get the first time around, Yeah,
we'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah. But, so when your mom was on here 2 weeks ago, she mentioned you have this book, Eat, Pray, Fuck My Life.
Yeah.
It was released the day that we talked. It seems like from the very beginning that it was released, it's gotten critical acclaim.
Yeah, it's been a pretty wild 3 weeks in my life in that respect. So just to give everyone a little bit of background, I was married for almost 2 years. I found out my husband was having an affair with a 19-year-old for 6 months. Filed for divorce, left. Shortly after, I met a man and we fell madly in love with each other. Had a whirlwind romance, and he convinced me to go on a month-long trip to Italy with him. 48 hours before we were getting on a plane, he told me he needed to go by himself, and I was absolutely devastated. But I had a decision to make, and that was either stay at home and be heartbroken or go travel Europe for a month by myself. So I went, with a backpack and no plans and did 7 countries over the span of a month all by myself. And then I wrote a book about it.
Oh my God, that is just beyond fucked up that he was cheating on you just like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and I'm thankful for my marriage and what it taught me, and I'm quite honestly thankful that my ex-husband did something so drastic. It was so easy for me to walk away because I dodged a big fucking bullet on that one, and I'm much happier now.
And let's see, okay, how old were you at the time?
When I found out and got the divorce, I was 28.
Okay, so you were 28, she was 19. Oh my God. And was he an actor too?
No, he was not. He was not in any facet of the industry, and I think that that was one thing that weighed heavily on our relationship. He was never really okay nor supportive of my career, and even though he met me as an actress. And then the guy that I fell in love with after, whose name in the book is Javier, he was an actor. And so then I fell into something with someone that was in my kind of line of work and that we could connect and understand each other's career on. And then that fell apart.
But he may as well have been an actor because he fooled you.
100%. And a good one at that.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is just fucked up. Yeah. Well, hopefully by now, you know, he got an STD that made his dick fall off.
You know, I don't wish anything bad on him nor his girlfriend. I'm very happy where I'm at in my life, and I learned so much from that whole experience. But you know, he's the only reason the divorce stuff and the cheating stuff is even included in the book is because I felt it really set the stage for how crazy my life got so fast, and just needed to be told to see where I was coming out of before I went on this big journey by myself. And for me personally, I'm so detached from it now. He's really just a character in my story, and and it feels good.
Yeah. Do you go into you know, relationships you had, you know, before or since in the book?
No, so I mean, although obviously there's tidbits about my past, my childhood with my mom, and you know, stuff that happened when I was younger that like seriously affected my life, like my dad's death. The book itself really goes from right before I found out about all the cheating, through my relationship with Javier after the divorce, and through Europe. So and all of this, mind you, happened in a 3-month span of 2017. So I found out about the cheating. I handed them the divorce papers. I met this guy. We fell in love, and he dumped me. And I went on a Europe trip in the span of 3.5 months. So that's literally what everyone's reading. So when people are reading this book, it's literally like you're watching this ridiculous Netflix show unfold right in front of your face. Unfortunately, it's just my true life.
I should get my mom a copy of this book because, oh my God, she was with my, he wasn't really my stepdad, but they were together for almost 17 years. He was like a stepdad to me, and the last 8 years or so, he was a completely different person, and he cheated on my mom for a girl for a woman he dated, you know, when he was in high school, you know, 30 years before, and oh my God, lots of shit like that happened.
Oh, then yeah, he for sure needs to read it. People, you know, unfortunately, people would rather be, you know, deceptive and like lie as opposed to just come out and speak their truth, and it would be so much easier on everybody. I don't know what that is, but and I've been surprised actually how many men have bought this book and reached out to me and been like, oh my God, I had a Javier in my life, or oh my gosh, this made me really open my eyes to so many things. And it's been, you know, because obviously I wrote it for a large woman demographic, like any woman that's ever had her fucking heart broken, which is like everyone. and a lot of men have been picking it up and really enjoying it. So it's been cool to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's people I've seen, on Facebook, in Hollywood and stuff, just, just praising this book. It's just, it feels like, it's like, it's just like it represents, their their feelings as well, like they've been through what you've been through.
Yeah, and I've heard that from a lot of people. I've had women message me and be like, "Oh my God, I feel like you're writing about my life." It's shocking to me how similar, these situations are, and so many people have gone through at least some form of this, not necessarily the cheating or, the travel, but one piece is something I went through, someone usually connects with, and it's been a really awesome feeling seeing all those responses coming in. And trust me when I say this book is fucking raw and real. I did not leave anything out. The first time my mom read it, she was like, "Oh my God, honey, are you sure you don't want to not put this part in, or at least change your name?" But it was, it's like, that's my truth and that's my story. And I didn't want to sugarcoat anything. I wanted to write it how I speak, and it's very blunt and raw and honest. And I think people have really connected with that and been able to appreciate that, because we don't have a ton of that. A lot of times people censor themselves or write in a more appropriate way, and I really wanted to write this as truthfully as possible, because that's what's going to help people heal and grow and learn about themselves.
Wow, that is beautiful. Do you offer any relationship or sexual advice in the book?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how, good that is coming from someone who's now been divorced and had many failed relationships. But, yeah, I mean, apart from the fact that this is a wild, fun, ridiculous ride of a book, there's also a lot of really important sentiments about how to uncover subconscious beliefs you may have that may be, running your life in a negative way, how to love yourself, how to really sit with yourself, learn how to be alone, and what you can do to figure out different aspects of your life. And so, yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, it's a self-help book," but you don't realize you're being helped because you're having so much fun reading it, which has been great. My mom is obviously, apart from her acting, she's a world healer and does healing sessions and speaks all over the world for it. So when she read this book, she called me in tears and was like, "I had been getting asked by all my clients this week, how do we exactly love ourselves? We don't really know how to practice doing that." And I was trying to think of a way to give them an answer. And it was right when I finished reading your book, and it was so appropriate that I had the answer for all my clients through my daughter's work. So it was very cool to hear that from someone who, comes from the healing world, because it's not by any means a preachy self-help book at all. It just happens to have a lot of that on a more relatable level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your mom's got that awesome podcast. I listen to it, and I get to hear her, spiritual Zen side, as opposed to, her other side where she likes to say fuck a lot.
Again, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah. So, are you dating anybody now?
I have some very important people in my life, but I've been very focused on myself. I'm making sure that everything in my life is how I want it before I decide to, publicize and move forward with something else. And a lot of that question will be answered if I ever decide to sit down and write books too, which is, being discussed, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you're young, you got plenty of time, But the three things you have to look out for to find the right guy is you got to make sure he's cute, he treats you like a queen, and he can find your G-spot. That's all you need.
Well, I mean, if we all could find that list in one person, nobody would be single.
Yeah. It's really tough on our generation, I have to say, because, all the older generations, I mean, they found people, like right out of high school and were married to them for 40, 50 years, and,
Yeah,
and
now
still are.
everybody's on dating apps and just wants to have sex and, like, is all, shady. And unfortunately, the apps and social media has made it so accessibly easy for people to be shitty.
Yeah.
So I've never done the dating app thing. I don't think I ever will. It's just not my bag. I have friends that are on it, and I've heard fucking horror stories about it. That could be a whole other book. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, this is the first time in my life that I've been very content with myself and my relationships in my life. So we'll see where they all go.
Yeah, I did dating sites when I was in my 20s. I had lots of horror stories in that, and then I just stopped doing them after a while and stuff. And I switched from dating girls to dating guys for a while, and now I'm just not dating it. Yeah, and now I'm just not dating anybody. I'm just trying to pursue show business and just, wait until, the right time, pretty much.
Yeah, and be happy with yourself. That's one thing that when I went on this Europe trip, I was like chasing to find was, how do I love myself? Because everybody's always said, you have to learn to love yourself first, and loving yourself is the most important thing before you can love anybody else. And I was sitting there going, okay, I'm ready to fucking do that. Can anyone explain how? Like, I'm an actress. Just give me direction. And nobody could really clearly explain how to do that. So in the end of the book, I write about what I discovered, which I call the self-love cocktail, because obviously you got to fucking equate it to wine or alcohol in some way. And it really has changed my life, and it was such a simple concept once I was able to grasp it and understand it. So I definitely included that so that people can learn how to do that as well, because it really is the most important thing. It's just people need to be told how to do it.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. The other day, I was doing an interview with Victor Miller, and he wrote a movie that you're in that's coming out called Rock, Paper, Scissors.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that movie?
I shot that a while ago. I think that was in 2016, and I had a lot of fun on it. Luke McFarland is a doll to work with, and we had so much fun. He's so sweet, and he's so good in this film, and it's such a different role for him. And it's a fun horror film, and it's good. So I'm excited to see what people think of it. It's definitely a new spin on the serial killer.
Yeah, Tom Holland is the director. I saw him at a convention, met him. Nice guy.
Yeah, Tom's a doll. We had a great time, and it was a good shoot. I was only on it for a couple days, but I had a blast on it.
Did you have any scenes with Michael Madsen?
No, I'm only with Luke.
Oh, only with Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got an interesting cast. Michael Madsen, Tatum O'Neal, and Maureen McCormick, who played Marsha Brady.
Yep. Yeah, it's a fun flick. I think horror fans are going to dig it.
Yeah, that's just a pretty interesting cast, though. But yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that one. I was curious of of all the 200 movies that your mom has made. So which ones are your favorites?
Cujo, hands down. I think she should have been up for an Oscar for that performance.
Yeah.
And I know Stephen King has gone on record saying that as well. That's definitely my favorite of hers, acting. The Frighteners will always hold a special place in my heart because I was on set for so much of that and met so much of the cast. I have, amazing memories of playing Foursquare with Michael J. Fox on his breaks, and he was so lovely to me, and Trini, and Peter Jackson is such an amazing person, and I'm forever grateful to him. To literally, when my dad passed, was like, "Please just go home and take care of your child, and let me know when you can come back," which is not how it's done in show business. It's like, sorry, gotta go. The show must go on.
Yeah.
So I I mean, The Howling is really fun for me, again, like Cujo, because both of my parents are in it. So that's always a fun one to sit and see. And it's just like, that's like 80s horror royalty. So it's just cool.
Yeah, my personal favorites from her, I mean, I love the horror movies, but my personal favorite ones are not horror. You ever seen Jimmy the Kid?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's one of her favorites, too.
Yeah, she told me. I love just how she plays this airhead in the movie, but she's such a sweet, empathetic person playing that part.
Sure. Yeah, I really loved Invisible Mom when I was younger too. That was like so much fun for me to watch when I was a kid.
I don't think I ever saw that one, Invisible Mom. I love when she played C. Thomas Howell's mom in A Secret Admirer.
Yeah, she loves that role too. I don't think I've ever seen that, actually.
Oh, you should see it. She's got this really funny moment, and she has this really funny line. I actually told her to write it one of the times I met her and got her autograph. There's a scene where her and Fred Ward are in a car on a stakeout because their significant others are cheating on them for each other's. And Fred Ward says to her, "Connie, what are we going to do?" And your mom says, "Fuck them." And then they start making out.
Oh, how fun. Yeah, I've seen pictures from it, but I don't think I've ever actually seen the whole film.
Yeah, and then she did this beautiful dramatic role in this movie called Shadow Play.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, she plays a widower who's in like a lighthouse over by the water, and she's being haunted by her dead husband and stuff. And to me, it's a transcendent performance, and I think it might be on YouTube. I'm not too sure, but you can get it there. You can get a copy of it on eBay on VHS or something, and she's really good in it, I think.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, there's so many of them that, like, I feel like I haven't seen a handful for sure.
Yeah, because 200 movies.
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, she's just got so many great roles, one after another. So there's a game that I like to play with my guests. It's these silly slumber party questions, and basically how it works is this. I ask you a question, you answer it, and then you ask me and I answer it.
Okay, the same question?
Yes.
Okay.
Gabrielle, are you ticklish?
I'm extremely ticklish, but it's like not, I don't laugh. I get violently angry and upset.
Oh.
Are you ticklish?
Oh, I am just baby ticklish.
But in like a cute, fun way, not like me.
Yeah, no, I giggle like a schoolgirl when I get tickled. Wow. What is your favorite part of the body?
Of my body or like my significant other's body?
Any.
Probably my stomach, I guess. Like when I go to the gym, I'm focused on my abs and my torso a lot. But if I'm talking about someone else's, like what's important to me when I look at someone, probably eyes. I really like eyes.
Wow.
What about you? What's your favorite part of the body?
Oh, what a coincidence. My favorite part of the body is the belly button.
Ah, I love it.
Yes. I contemplate my belly button every day. What color are your toenails painted?
They're currently, and it's so funny, I actually know the name of the polish. It's called Cajun Shrimp, but it's like a very bright red with like an orange tint to it.
Nice.
What color are your toenails?
I have clear polish right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just absolutely makes you gag?
Yeah, rotten fish. Like if you like cook salmon and
I'm actually having salmon tonight.
Well, don't leave it in the trash for too long.
I won't.
What makes your nose gag?
There's consistent things like farts,
Right.
But first, I had a car accident about 4 years ago, and I was in the hospital for 6 months. And during the last month I was there, they wouldn't change my socks, and I had athlete's foot for 6 months after that, and that was bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Jesus.
Yeah. Now, really quickly, I got this really funny joke that I like to tell guests. I told your mom this, and her reaction was hilarious. Cinderella is about to go to the ball, and she's on her period, and the fairy godmother gives her these magic tampons and says, okay, you can go to the ball, but you have to be home by midnight or else they will turn into a pumpkin. And she says, okay, fairy godmother, I will. So 12:30 rolls around. Fairy godmother is pacing around the house angry because Cinderella hasn't shown up yet. But then Cinderella does show up at 4 a.m. stumbling drunk. And fairy godmother says, where were you? You were supposed to be home at midnight. And Cinderella's like, I'm so sorry, fairy godmother. I met this great guy. His name was Peter.
Oh, God. Oh, God, dude.
Yeah, your mom.
That's so bad.
Yeah, your mom said, ew, Tommy, ew.
Oh, my God.
So Eat, Pray, Fuck My Life is already out, and Rock, Paper, Scissors is coming out soon. Do you have any other projects you'd like to plug?
Yeah, well, for people that are listening, Eat, Pray, Fuck My Life is available exclusively on Amazon. It's in paperback and ebook form. And I'm on Instagram at Gabrielle Stone, and the book is on every social platform as well at EatPrayFML. I just did a horror film called Await the Dawn that is coming out sometime next year with Josh Server.
Nice.
And I'm in development for a feature film I'm going to direct that I can't talk much about, but it's based on a best-selling book, and I'm stoked that I get to bring it to the screen. And staying busy with all that.
Wonderful. Gabrielle, you are so much fun, just like your mom, and I thank you so much for coming on today, and I hope your success amplifies because you are awesome.
Oh, thank you, dude. I so appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Have a good weekend.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it. Gabrielle Stone. Ain't she a sweetheart? Yes, she is. She takes after her mother, and I'm so glad I got to talk to her today. And she has persevered against that ex-husband of hers, and she will continue to come out slugging. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.